Wildlife and wildlife habitat are really important to a lot of organizations, but sometimes it can be hard to get eyes on the issues that matter the most. In this case, we're looking at an area in Malta where there's a long history of illegal trapping and hunting of migratory birds. Poachers will often clear areas to build these large nets or artificial ponds that will attract waterfowl for the purpose of hunting. It's really hard to monitor these because they're often on private lands, and because of trespassing concerns, it's hard for organizations that care about this to get an eye on these issues. To give you an example, these are some of those artificial ponds right over here. So we've made a note in Lens using imagery from April of 2024. This is an image from Airbus that we've ordered in Lens. We can really clearly see these ponds on the landscape. Over here, we can also see some of these trap sites. So I've added to this note over here a little bit of extra context to show you what these look like on the ground. So in this case, here's what one of those trap sites looks like a little bit closer up. And here's another view of that. So these are really important to keep tabs on as organizations may want to monitor some of this illegal wildlife trapping. So what we can do in Lens is we can get up-to-date imagery from all these different commercial vendors that we work with, including Airbus, Maxar, Planet, and Nearmap, so that we can see any changes as they're happening. So here you'll see a couple of other notes that I've made so that folks on my team can all come in here and easily see what issues we need to prioritize the most. For instance, over here we can see 2 existing trap sites from imagery in 2019 and compare that to 2024. We can see over here a new trap site as well as a new pond. To give you a sense of the scale here, we also noticed in this part of the property where there was some tree planting as well as some thinning. We can very easily also measure some of these changes. So let's say I want to come back over here and measure the area of this trap net site. I can select the area here and just draw a boundary around that and see that that covers just about 960 square feet. Something else that we can use in addition to the high resolution imagery is some of the high frequency data that we get from sources like Sentinel-2. Over here, we can see where we zoom in, one of these artificial ponds was flooded. And on the Sentinel data, this shows surface moisture. So even just a couple pixels here can help us detect that there's been some kind of change. And if we look at this chart, we can see where we've analyzed surface moisture in that specific area over the last couple of years. And we can see this spike in spring of 2022 when that actually took place, when that was flooded back for use. So all of this helps us to see and assess some of these enforcement issues that might be really hard to monitor otherwise, even details that are very small. So hopefully that gives you some helpful ideas for how you can use Lens and some of the tools that we have access to in the platform for monitoring the issues that you care about to protect wildlife habitat.